Right, hello everybody. I think this is working. I don't know. It's been a little bit since I've done a stream, so hopefully I pressed the right buttons. But yeah, it's Friday evening. So hopefully you've all finished for work. If not, hang on in there. Not long. Weekend's coming. Weekend is coming. Um, so yeah, what have I got to share? Let's see if I can share screen here. Yeah, there we go. That works. Um, what was it, Saturday, I was able to take my kids to Newcastle. That was good fun. And there's a cafe there called Cat Perchino, where it's cool. It's just got loads of cats in this cat cafe. So you book a time slot, you go in there, and you sort of you can order food and drinks and stuff, but you get to sit there. And there's all these cats about. You can go and stroke them and stuff. So I thought that would be good for my kids. So I've got a little bit of footage of that I can show you. Um, I mean, we've got a cat at home. We've got a pet cat, but they they just love cats, so it was a good place to take them. Um, it was a little bit of a trek from where we ended up parking, but um, that was right. I ended up being lazy on the way back and getting an Uber back to where we were parked. Um, Thankfully, getting to the place because it's down on the quayside, it was all like downhill, so that bit wasn't quite so bad. But when you've got a little 6-year-old, trying to get them to walk anywhere is a bit of a pain. I usually end up carrying her some of the way because I'm soft like that, and she's like, oh, my legs are tired. So I'm like, all right, come on, I'll just carry you a bit because we're a bit pushed for time. But here we go. If I share screen, I think I can do this right. Does that come up? Here we go. So I've turned the sound down just so I don't get any copyright issues or anything. But there's Mrs. DanceBiker there. So this is Cat Perchino in Newcastle. So I've got one cat, two cats that you can see here. It's my daughter there, my eldest. And that's one of the little videos. And then let's see now, where's the second one? So you can see them all here. They were all going to get fed, so they were all coming along to this one area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7. There's more. There's more cats as well. They're all over the place, but it was really great. That was good fun. So you can see the cafe here. You book yourself a table. You get like an hour in there with the cats. So that was pretty cool. We did that. We also did the Discovery Museum, which is the kids loved that. There was all this stuff with like electricity, magnetism, on the top floor there, and they have all these little experiment things you can, for the kids to play with and press buttons and stuff, things to do with like mirrors and stuff. What was really cool is they had a room. It was like a dark corner with photosensitive sort of material on the wall, and then you press this button, and about 4 seconds later, it does a flash. So you stand in front of this wall, and you can make like a shape or something, and it you create a shadow. And then after the flash, you move and have a look at the wall, and the shadow stays there for a little while before it fades. So that was quite good fun. They really enjoyed that bit. There was also a red arrows kind of simulator sort of thing where you get into this simulator. You had to pay a little bit extra for this, but we went into that, and you sort of got the screen in front of you, it's the onboard from one of the red arrows when they're sort of close to all the others doing their maneuvers and stuff, and it tries to simulate a little bit of the rattling about and moving you sort of thing. That was pretty cool. It's obviously kind of toned down a little bit so that kids can go on it. So my eldest, who's 13, she was a bit like, nah, it was a bit lamer than I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be like G-force and stuff. I was like, yeah, they can't really create G-force in there, had to kind of manage her expectations on that one. But because she really liked the Top Gun movie. I took her to see that, and that was great. So she wanted to kind of experience that kind of stuff, which would be awesome. But yeah, I don't have that facility. That's it's beyond my pay grade. I can't put her up in an actual jet. But if I could, she probably would go for it. I think she's got a little bit of that dance biker kind of willingness to just give things a try. Even if they're a bit racy. Excuse me, sorry, I'm just having a little bit of orangeade. So, yeah, what else was going on? Let's see if I can bring up this page. I was just having a look through the news articles earlier, and there was the first one. Right, these headline writers, they know what they're doing, right? They know what they're doing. You'll see what I mean in a second, right? Here it comes. If you can read that. Granny's bush so big, it's a hazard to anyone who walks past. Now, come on now, Metro. It's Metro, the publication here. You know what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing with that headline. I mean, the story's obviously just going to be something boring about, this bit of pathway is being impeded by this this bush, and it's obviously annoying the neighbours or whatever. Just the headline. Just the headline. I saw it, and I was like, "Yep, you know what you're doing." But it worked. Clickbait. It worked because I clicked on it, didn't I? So they're getting their money from their advertisements here. This Cooper, or whatever that car is, and well, yeah, whatever these adverts are, they'll be getting their click money. And the other one, this bridge collapses during its opening ceremony. It's obviously not been built right, has it? Sending the mayor and guests into a river. Now, thankfully, I mean, you can see it here as it collapses. Oof, poor people. Thankfully, you can see it's not actually we're not talking a massive bridge here. It's not that high up. Although saying that, if that guy's about 6 feet, you're looking maybe 12 feet. I mean, you could still sustain some serious leg injuries or something, or back injuries here. But yeah, underneath they've got that little bit of water there. It's not we're not talking like the Humber Bridge or anything here, but yeah, some people were injured. It's pretty bad. Where was it now? Just south of Mexico City, so it's somewhere in Mexico. Like as if on the day it's opened, that's been some pretty poor engineering and design going into that there. I mean, because if it was only designed to take a certain amount of weight, then that should have really been made clear with signs and people making sure that not too many people went on it. But really, these things should be designed to take, for safety's sake, double the amount of people that you might have on it. It should be able to be full of people and not collapse, in my opinion. That should be designed and made with the materials sufficient to take the weight of, I don't know, 60 men or something, or more. But yeah, so pretty poor showing, but I don't think anybody died, thankfully. At least 25 people were injured, including the mayor's wife, who needed surgery on it. Oh, good grief, yeah. So it's actually maybe a little bit higher than it initially looks. I guess they could have cut their leg on a rock or something, or broken a bone and needed surgery, but yeah, that's not good. But literally, it didn't even last a day. It didn't even last an hour. It basically, the opening ceremony, and it collapsed. Good grief, sort it out, world. What happened to the proper engineers? See, that's another thing. Yeah, I remember I was talking a while back about the Three Gorges Dam, and how they have managed to get the water levels down to sort of a safe kind of level. But there's still different conspiracy theories. Well, theories, I should say, not conspiracy theories, but theories about what's going on there, because you're just not going to get the information or the truth out of there. It's the CCP aren't going to say what's going on. There was some speculation that some of the sort of the lift mechanisms with the smaller boats can go up on the water elevator thing and stuff. There's two different systems there depending on the size of ship to get them from one side to the other. There was some speculation that one of those was leaking, and that's why some of the water levels come down, but they haven't really been using the sluice gates. But it was from some satellite imagery. It wasn't quite conclusive, but it looked like the water was disturbed in that area, as if water was coming out where it shouldn't. Some reports that allegedly there might be some cracks and issues with parts of the dam that they're trying to hide. Might just be rumor, might not be true, but when they cut off all the live stream cameras and haven't had them running for a long time, it does make you wonder, what are you hiding? Why aren't your cameras on? What are you doing? Why haven't you used any of the sluice gates this year? So yeah, still a bit of a concern, but I think I mean, it just depends on the rainfall. If it's a normal kind of year, they'll be able to manage it. But the concern is if there is a small leak started, that'll only get worse. So yeah, interesting one. We'll keep an eye on that. See what else is going on. So we went to the Cat Cafe. We went to Newcastle. That was good. We had a good time. What else have I been doing? I still haven't fixed my bike, so I've just been working, and then looking after the kids. And although I have got the light evenings now, so I guess technically at some point I could try and go out even 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, there should still be enough sunlight to work on it a little bit. Um, at the moment, I've got to try and find a way of getting the whole rear brake assembly off the bike, where the battery pan bit is and the bit that goes above the back wheel. I kind of need to remove some of that in order for it to fit, to get the whole thing out, rather than taking it all apart, and then I can put the new one in. I've got to look at it and think about it and see which bits. I'll try and sort of work it out so it's the bare minimum in terms of deconstruction, because I know I've got to put it all back again. I don't want to have to strip half the bike off just to remove one part if I can sort of get a few bits out of the way and pull it through. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I would quite like if I can at some point during the summer get onto that. Let's see what's news articles there are. If I just pull up a new tab, let's see if there's anything interesting going on. Yeah, I've heard about this Yorkshire Shepherdess woman from. My wife watches the Yorkshire Farm program, where she's got like 1 million kids and stuff. It seems a shame she's going to split with her husband Clive after 22 years, because they seemed on camera at least like such a solid couple. So that was a bit of a shame. After having such a life together and all those kids. Dubbed the County Kardashians. Okay. They seem like a nice family, so that's a shame to me. Let's just see if I just go Google. I'll try the Google News because it's more in a sort of top to bottom sort of format rather than little blocks here and there and everywhere. CNN? Are you kidding? No chance. Don't want that nonsense. Good grief, where's the Google News? I mean, Google's probably not going to be that much better. They obviously have a certain agenda as well, but hopefully it'll be a bit less biased than some of the others. Or maybe not, what am I saying? I'll skip past all the Ukraine and stuff. There's nothing much here I want to talk about. Let's see. Boris Johnson won't solve the housing crisis, but he might make it worse. Okay. I maybe shouldn't get into that. There was a thing showing that like wages and the cost of houses was sort of going up in a similar rate all up until like the late 90s, and then it just suddenly went, where the wages was going up normally, and then the cost of housing was going. And there are reasons for that I can't really say on YouTube. I mean, there are a few different factors, but it's to do with like supply and demand, isn't it? And amount of people versus amount of houses being built. And there's certain things that happened that the government did, which meant that there was a greater demand for housing, which hasn't really been properly addressed. Yeah, no, I'll not get into that. I mean, different people have different views on that, but it makes it harder for younger people to try and get on the housing ladder. We were fortunate really in the timing. It was the bubble. It was going up and up, and we were trying desperately to get a house. And like every month that we were looking at, we weren't getting one. It was getting worse because the prices were just going up and up. Back when we got this one, and we were competing against every place we were looking for. There was like a developer. There was a developer like looking to buy it to rent it out, and when we looked around this one, we didn't think we would actually get it because it was kind of on the borderline of what we could sort of afford and what we could borrow. But it was great because the couple that was selling it really kind of wanted to sell it to like a family, and we were like a young married couple looking to sort of start a family rather than just being. They didn't really want to sell it to like a developer just to rent out or something. So they were said afterwards, that when they were showing people around and they'd seen us, they were kind of hoping that we would be one of the sort of the higher bids or highest bids, so that they could sell to us, and it so happened to be. So they actually live a couple of streets away now. That was the guy who owned it. It was a couple, but the guy was like a gardener, professional gardener, and this house I live in doesn't have a garden. It's just it's like road, path, house, backyard, back wall, back lane, and he just really wanted to have a garden. He was sort of looking to move to one of the semi-detached one that's just around the corner. So and I still see him about every now and then if I'm walking about, and I'll sort of wave to him, see how he's doing. Even though it's been like, what was it now, 19 years? Time flies, man. But yeah, I'm just sorry I've just gone on a tangent about about living here, but yeah, it's because of that whole there was that line about housing crisis. So yeah, I think a lot of people like my daughter's generation are going to sort of probably rely a lot more on parents if they're lucky enough to have parents that are able to sort of contribute and help towards them getting on the ladder. Because I think I can just see it getting harder and harder for them in terms of needing a deposit and stuff like that. But so plan for me, for my daughters as they get older to that sort of age would be to, if I'm in a position to help them, then I'll do what I can to try and help them get on the property ladder when it's the right time. Because yeah, you just can't. It used to be a certain amount of times your wages, didn't it? Like for a mortgage, they'll let you borrow. Was it about 4 times your wages or 5 times your annual wage or something for a mortgage, which used to be enough, back in the day. But that's harder now. It's usually now for couples they both usually have to be working to get enough capital, because obviously what happened with the 2008 financial crash, because of that overlending and stuff like that, it's a lot tighter now, so it's harder to get. They want you to have a bigger deposit than this, that and the other, more proof of income, which is all prudent. I mean, I think back years ago, a long time, I mean before my day, it used to be, didn't it, I think that to apply for a mortgage, it was kind of like you had to kind of go and sit down with the bank manager, and they kind of had to know that you were, of your character and this, that and the other. It was quite hard to get a mortgage, really quite hard to get a mortgage, just because they needed to be able to rely on the person they were giving the money to. Then it went the other way and got too easy. So, like in America, they were given like the kind of hillbilly types that didn't really have much of a job and just living in a trailer or something. They're like, yeah, here, have $200,000 to go and buy this house. Sure, it'll be fine. And then they couldn't pay it back, and then they foreclosed on the properties, and then that was. I'm simplifying it. There's other stuff as well, but that was kind of a big part of the financial bubble that crashed in 2008, and yeah, so it's not easy for younger people today. I was kind of luckily just got in there kind of thing before they got ridiculously expensive. I managed to get in there while it was still somewhat affordable. The people who were sort of born, say, 10 years before me, I don't think they realised how much of a difference it would be for them. They were at a point when like the cost of prices of a house was a fair bit lower, and then it went, and I managed to jump in there just before it went too high. But yeah, so that's that. What else is going on? So has this jumped back up to the top? Biden to end COVID testing requirements to travel to the US. I'd heard that from Saturday, I believe, but are they still requiring people to have had the jabs? Because at the moment it's both, isn't it? I don't know. I'm hoping that eventually the world will have some common sense about all this stuff, but I'm not holding my breath, because governments and politicians, they don't tend to use common sense, do they now? Fuel price rises. Yeah, I know, I just filled up the petrol in the car yesterday, and it was like, woo! Yeah. Shropshire haulage bus. Yeah, it must be harsh for those. Although they get the tax written off, don't they? Well, it's still going to cost them more, though, isn't it? This is the thing. It has a knock-on effect on everything. Sometimes people who don't drive might think, what do I care? I don't drive. I just cycle or whatever. It's like, yeah, but all your goods have to be delivered, don't they? By trucks. So the price of everything goes up, and the price of fuel goes up. That's just the way it works. Apple and Google's mobile browser stranglehold may face UK investigation. Yes, because I don't like too much monopolization. Yeah, too right. I don't like too much centralized power of anything, really. But that's just my personal views. Just some banking stuff, technology. Oh no, the technology section is all going to be about gaming, which I know almost nothing about, so I guess I'll skip past that. Britney Spears wears Versace wedding dress as she marries. Oh, she's marrying somebody. Okay, so does that mean that she'll get some of her freedoms back? Because she was under that kind of weird thing where her dad was sort of fully in control of her, wasn't he? Yeah, I don't know much about it, but man, she's had a rough ride at times. I think I guess being in the spotlight from a young age, and then she couldn't have any kind of freedom, so she kind of rebelled against that. A bit where she shaved her head and then married that guy she used to go to school with, and then all the lawyers sat him down and made him kind of annul it or whatever. Yeah, well, I hope she finds happiness with this guy Sam, whatever his name is. Yeah, and then hopefully, I don't know how that'll work legally with the whole financial thing over her with not having control of it. I think I was seeing on Nick Recator Law as well that then shout out to Nick, by the way. That he was saying even when she was appealing some of that stuff, she was having to use her own money for lawyers, not just for her to state her case, but the lawyers that were sort of against her, trying to stop her from getting her sort of money, access to her money back and stuff, were paid from her that same account. Like her money effectively for and against her. She had to finance the whole thing, but she had no control over it. It's just awful. Oh, that would grate on me. It's like your own lawyers that are opposing you, you're having to pay for that as well. No, that would annoy me no end. That would, so yeah. I've got a bit of sympathy there for Brittany. I don't know a whole lot about her, but just some of those sort of circumstances, it makes me feel happy to be just like a more normal kind of person, just doing a normal job and having, you don't get all those extra headaches and stresses, and strange things. She can't have a good relationship with her dad because of all that, can she? Really? I don't know. Maybe they're fine. I don't know. Neighbours is going to wrap up filming after 37 years. Oh no! I haven't watched it in decades, but oh no. It is a bit of an end of an era though, man. Harold Bishop, remember him? Is he still in it? Is he still alive? I don't know. Oh man, but when I was at school, that's a long time ago. I'm 41 now. So man, when I was in school in like 13, 14, 15, it was even then it'd been running a while. But yeah, 37 years. I wonder why. Are they just not making any money? Is nobody watching it? Surely there must be people that still watch it, is there? But then, maybe not nowadays, with everything's all streaming services and people watching YouTube. Maybe there just isn't. The young people just aren't watching it, maybe, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Sports. I'll have to set the Formula 1 to record because that's Azerbaijan, isn't it? So I'll have to set that to record. I still haven't seen all of the Isle of Man TT stuff yet. I've got it all set to record. I've seen some of it. I saw the first couple of races. It's sadly again been a brutal one for a loss of life. Yeah, I was kind of hoping it would be everyone could have their races and head home, but sadly no. There have been some deaths already at the Isle of Man TT this year. Again, it's probably riskier the fact that it hasn't been on until, they had 2 of them missed, so effectively 3 years since the last one, so there's been less kind of practice and stuff. There's still, every year, it's practice week and then the races, but I don't know whether that's had any effect on the riders' ability to remember the course and the corners and stuff, but either way, it's been a sad start to it. Like I say, I've only seen a couple of the races, so I don't know if anything else like that has happened since. Hopefully not. Hopefully everyone's alright. They do take it does take a lot of bravery because they put their lives on the line just for that race. It's definitely a sport of passion. Let's see now. Drop the dead monkeypox. Meh. I'll not. Yeah. The less said about that, the better. Really. I hope that jogs on. I think I'll leave that there. Let me see if I can get rid of this display. There we go. So, I have been rambling to you for how long? 24 minutes and 40 seconds. If you're crazy enough to have been watching this, then thank you. I salute you. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat, and I will address them whenever I'm next on a live stream. But I will say that you have a great Friday evening, have a great Friday night, and a great weekend, everybody. And I will catch you on the next stream. Okay, bye.